When you think of Fort Lauderdale, probably the first thing that comes to mind is either boating or Fort Lauderdale Beach. And obviously those are both very valid things to think about, but Fort Lauderdale is so much more than that. And actually the greater Fort Lauderdale area is massive and it really encompasses a ton of different things and a ton of different activities. Actually, it's pretty much the greater Broward County area. So I thought of what's the best way to kind of describe and show you guys all these different areas? It's probably to hop into Google Maps and take a look to show you which areas might be best for you and your family. Whether you're looking to move here or you already live here and you're looking for some hidden gems, we're gonna take a look at everything that you need to know about living here in Fort Lauderdale. But before we hop into the map and look at that, all I ask is that if you or anyone that you know are looking to buy, sell, or invest in Fort Lauderdale or in South Florida in general, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. We've helped hundreds of families just like yours who are reaching out every single day. Whether they're looking for tips and ideas on ways to move here, they're looking for recommendations, or they're even looking for market reports because they're possibly thinking about selling their home or even renting it out and then using it as a second home. Anything that you need, we're a phone call, email, text away. But now let's hop right into it and take a look at the greater Fort Lauderdale area and talk about all the different things that you need to know. Okay, now that we're in the map, we're gonna zoom out a little bit. So we have Fort Lauderdale right here, and let's talk about the location, then we'll get into everything else. So honestly, Fort Lauderdale's in a clutch location. I know people think when you look at it on a map and you're maybe not from here, that we're right next to Miami. We're not too far, and we're also not right next to West Palm, but we're also not too far. So Fort Lauderdale's in a great central location right here, and pretty much this is that Broward County area. As far south as the Hollywood-Hollandale area, and then as far north as Deerfield. And this pretty much encompasses the greater Fort Lauderdale area when you think about it. So as we zoom in a little bit, we're only about probably 30-minute Brightline ride to Miami, hour and 15 minutes with traffic drive, about an hour Brightline, or 45-minute Brightline ride to West Palm, and about an hour 15, hour 30 drive depending on traffic. So as we zoom in here, obviously we'll start on the south end and we'll start off like East Fort Lauderdale and what everyone really thinks about when they think about Fort Lauderdale. Then we'll branch out into the suburbs and we'll talk about everything else. So on the south side of Fort Lauderdale, you do have the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, and it's right here on the corner with 595 and 95. And I will say over here, you have the port as well. So we do have quite a few cruises that go out of Fort Lauderdale. Most of the time though, if you're taking a bigger cruise, I will say you probably go out of the port of Miami. Even Cape Canaveral's getting pretty big too, as of recently. I think they've overtaken the port of Miami. They're even looking to build a Brightline stop up there. It's gotten that popular. But as we work our way north here, so we have the Edgewood neighborhood, which is a great little community. Some single family homes, you have townhomes, a little bit of multifamily. You also have Snyder Park here, which is really cool. They've also just built, or it's about to open, a place called the Fort. So if you're a big pickleball fanatic, this is going to be the first pickleball stadium here in the state of Florida. They also have outdoor courts. They're gonna have something along the lake as well. So it should be pretty sweet. I think the pricing for it, I wanna say it's about $30 a month, but I think they were finalizing pricing last time I looked. Then as we zoom out a little bit, so you still have the port over here to the right. Then as we get north of Marina Mile or Marina Boulevard, we call it Marina Mile because all the people who work on the yachts, a lot of the stores, the office fronts, are all right along this road because of the access to the waterways. So that's why it's called Marina Mile. But on the north side, we have River Oaks. And honestly, between you and I think River Oaks is probably one of the most slept on neighborhoods here in Fort Lauderdale. A lot of people don't really realize it. You have great access to 95, you have great access to 595 to get out west. You do have some homes here on the water as well. You have single family homes in here, townhomes, a lot of new construction homes as well. They're even building a brand new community called Marina Landings. Plus, as we zoom in, you do have plenty of different things to do around it as well. So you have the Winn-Dixie's, Slackers Bar and Grill, which is a Florida State bar and a Packers bar. I know, two complete opposites, but it's pretty cool, especially on game day. Well, maybe not this year because Florida State sucked, but it's definitely something you have to go and check out. You have the old Heidelberg restaurant, it's a German restaurant. I honestly haven't been yet, but I've heard great things about it. You have Lauderdale Memorial Park, then you have Runway 84. And they recently just redid Runway 84 and it's immaculate. Night and day difference, probably some of the best Italian food in not only Fort Lauderdale, but probably all of South Florida. Right next to it, my favorite breakfast spot, Lester's is between Lester's and Dandy Donuts. Dandy Donuts is up in Pompano, so we'll get to it. But Lester's is a solid breakfast spot. But back to our map tour. So we'll zoom out a little bit, head a little bit further north. So you also have the Croissant Park area. Very similar to that of River Oaks, mostly single family homes in there as well. Point Santa Park areas where Broward Regional is, or Broward Regional, yep. Right down the street, you do have a couple different restaurants, Tap 42. You had Barrita right there, but Barrita closed. I liked it. Apparently everyone else didn't. Then we have 17th Street here as well. So 17th Street's your way out to the beach. So 17th Street turns right into A1A, but over here you do have a nice shopping center. So there's a Publix in here, plenty of other shopping and dining options. There's a Duffy's, there's Koi. As we zoom in a little bit, is it gonna show up? I guess it doesn't wanna show up. But Koi is over here, it's a Japanese and sushi spot. You have a Bamba, LA Fitness. This is hands down one of the most packed LA Fitnesses I've ever been to. Five Guys. Across the street, there is a GNC in here. There's also a Zona Fresca. That's a pretty cool spot. Plenty of other little restaurants as well. There's a Ross Dress for Less. Waxy's Irish Pub down here. You have Quarter Deck right here. Yep, finally things are starting to pull up. ABC, they are opening up a Chip City. I want to say the Chip City is going to go over here near the Starbucks, but they haven't opened it yet. So it's on the coming soon. I'm excited for it. If you haven't been to Chip City, definitely some of the best cookies that you're going to try. Southport Raw Bar, also some excellent seafood. Speaking of seafood, we have Boatyard as well. Boatyard's a great spot. And there's also Kelly's Landing back here. Kelly's Landing is my dad's favorite seafood spot in Fort Lauderdale. It's solid, not my favorite. My favorite's Coconuts, which we'll get to. There's also Zona Fresca, some of the best Mexican food as well. So let's zoom out a little bit. So right behind all this shopping center, we have Rio, and this is Rio right here, this neighborhood. So you have some homes on the water. You have the Fort Lauderdale Yacht Club down here near the 15th Street Fisheries. So there's a lot of different things. And I think the biggest thing about Rio, like if I wanted to live somewhere and I wanted to live on the water and I had to pick a neighborhood, I'd probably pick Rio. You have a nice mix of single family homes, all different styles. So you have like the older Fort Lauderdale style mixed with some new homes. You have some contemporary homes, and then there's super modern homes as well. And that's a good mix of families and different things. You'll always see people out, which is really nice. So me and my dog, Dallas, we always go for a walk throughout Rio. And then there's also Tarpon River right here. Tarpon River is a really cool spot because it's on the south side of the river. As you can see, I mean, live pretty much right here in Tarpon River. A lot of different things going on. There's Wells Coffee. You have Tarpon River Brewing as well, which is a great spot. Right next to that, let's zoom in here, you have the Fitz Bar and Lounge, which is a cool little bar, little hole in the wall. It's pretty sweet. You know, not a whole lot of people are going over there. Then if we zoom out over there, we'll get to downtown and all that in a second. But then we also have over here, Riverside. I think Riverside's kind of like that of River Oaks. Really slept on. Not a whole lot of people are talking about it. Still very affordable like that of Tarpon River and Sailboat Bend, which is right here. Between all three of them, it's a mix. So you have single family homes, townhomes, some condos. I will say in Tarpon River, you do have more apartments than both Sailboat Bend and Riverside. But one of the big things about all three of these, along with River Oaks, is none of these bridges are fixed bridges. So you can get a deep water vessel back here. You can have larger vessels as well. Granted, it will take you maybe an extra 20 minutes to get to the intercoastal, but you're gonna save maybe $1 million, a little bit less than that, because buy a house in Las Olas Isles, it's gonna be probably double the price of living on the water back here. So that's something to keep in mind. Then we get into like the downtown area. So like the Broward Center for Performing Arts, we have all the entertainment right here off of 2nd Street. So literally the minute you go over the tracks and you'll see it like when you're walking it. So we have over here like Booze Garden, Poorhouse, El Tiesto Cafe, Pizza Craft, Dicey's, Munchies. There's a lot of Fat Cats. There's a lot of cool spots. Honestly, what I like is I'd rather go out on Las Olas personally, but that's just me. And we'll get to Las Olas. So right here is the Wharf. Wharf's probably one of the most popular spots in Fort Lauderdale. We got Bodega. They have a little speakeasy back there as well. Rooftop, Velvet Tacos new. This Swizzle Rum Bar is about to open. I think it's opening on the 16th to the 23rd of January, 2025. It's supposed to be really cool. It's coming from Miami, so it'll be interesting. Then we get into Las Olas, which if you're not familiar, it's pretty much like all your shopping, dining, and entertainment. It's more boutique shopping, but still plenty of things to do, and it's For some reason, we got like 4 or 5 donut spots on it now too, but plenty of cool spots. I really like Moxie's, which is over here near Fogo de Chao. Of course, it's not gonna show up, but Moxie's is right over here. Then as you head down as well, there's Palm Room, El Camino, American Social, Vino's is a little wine bar. So a lot of cool spots. We'll zoom out a little bit. So this is at Coley Hammock area in Victoria Park. Coley Hammock is more single family homes, townhomes. Victoria Park, you have a great mix. So single family, townhomes, some multifamily. And then you get into Las Olas Isles. Las Olas Isles and Harbor Beach will kind of lump into one just for this video, but all deep water access, no fixed bridges, a lot larger homes, a lot larger lots. You're also gonna pay a premium for it. I think the median sales price in Harbor Beach right now is 5.7 million. Las Olas Isles right now, I wanna say was 7.1 million. So a little bit pricier than living a little bit further west, and you'll even see that as we start talking about some of the suburbs too. Then you get into like the Fort Lauderdale Beach, Merritt Harbor Beach. So this is like where spring break happens, and like this is the Mecca right here. You have Elbow Room right here on the corner, Rock Bar, Blondie's. Of course, nothing wants to show up, but there we go, Elbow Room. Blondie's is right next door. Also, there we go, finally shows up. And we'll zoom out a little bit. We'll talk about over here. This is gonna be the next hotspot, I think, and that's the Flagler Village area, which is pretty much this entire area. So west of Federal, like right around Progresso Village. Right now it's a lot of apartment buildings, but there's a lot of different activities in the works, like that of the Searstown project, on Bell, which is coming, which is going to be a luxury condo for sale. We also have the Viceroy residences, which are coming, including also the Fat Village project. So a lot of different activities. Plus you have Holiday Park right across the street, with sports fields, pickleball courts, and even the Federal and the Iceplex where the Florida Panthers train. So that's pretty cool. And we zoom in a little bit. So right up and down Federal here on the outskirts of Flagler Village, you have plenty of restaurants too, shopping, dining options, grocery store. Publix isn't too far. Then you head up Federal. We also have Trader Joe's, pretty much everything and anything you need. Costco is in Plantation now, but as you can see, Costco to Flagler Village, Fort Lauderdale, still not too far. Then we'll work our way a little bit further north. Now we're on the Sunrise area, so you have the Galleria Mall, we have Central Beach, Hugh Taylor Birch State Park. So we do have a state park, which is really cool. You have the beach you can enjoy, go to the park, go hiking, have a picnic, you can go kayaking. That's a cool area. Then we get into like Poinciana Heights, Middle River Terrace, Lauderdale Manors, a lot of single family homes. There's some new construction options as well. And when I'm talking about new construction right now, when I say new construction options for single family and townhomes, they're more one-offs. It's not big communities like you're thinking in like Tampa and Orlando. Then we get into Wilton Manors. And honestly, I think Wilton Manors is a great deal. I know a lot of people think of Wilton Manors because, as according to their website, they're one of the gayest cities in Florida, but it's a great, clean-kept community, plenty of great restaurants and different things, and the prices reflect it as well. Now, as we keep heading north, we get into like the Coral Ridge area, so you have Coral Ridge Country Club. Some of these homes are on the water in Coral Ridge, some are not on the water, and then some are on the golf course. And I think the biggest thing with Coral Ridge is that you don't have to be a part of the country club if you don't want to. Like in Boca, there is no option. There are country club communities where you have to be a part of the country club. This is optional. If you want to join, you can join. If not, you don't have to. And there's no HOA, which is clutch. We also have Galt Mile right here, which personally I think is one of the best beachfront, oceanfront, walkable condo neighborhoods in all of South Florida. I mean, so there's about a mile stretch of 39 buildings. Right here, you have plenty of different strip centers along the way. Plus, you have some great restaurant options. So like down here, there's Cafe Monterano. There is Twice Removed right here, which is the best cocktail, best happy hour, and best date night spot, according to Fort Lauderdale Magazine. There's also 430 Boardroom, Smoke Barbecue. I know what you're thinking. Beach Barbecue on A1A, a tourist spot. It's actually really good, surprisingly. So I would definitely go back. You have Bow Campers, so plenty of different options. And they're also, oh, I'm sorry, I almost forgot. This is Greek Islands Taverna, a great Greek spot. But down here, just a little bit south, I don't know if it'll show up, but they're building a Publix, like I wanna say it's right over here. Should hopefully open, I wanna say by the end of 2025, but they are doing construction pretty fast, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's built sooner than that. Then we get into Lauderdale by the Sea. And honestly, Lauderdale by the Sea might be one of the best small beach towns in not only South Florida, but the entire state. So it's got a really cool vibe to it because there are no high rises there. It's part of the building code. So you have a nice mix of some low rise condos, townhomes, some smaller motels, and a great little downtown area right off of Commercial and A1A. So let's see, we can zoom in here and kind of show you guys. So like it really starts right here and then runs along Commercial. So there's the beach, you have the pier, you have Aruba, Taco Craft, which is one of my personal favorite Mexican restaurants. They now even brought one all the way out to Coral Springs, which we'll talk about here in a second as well. Some cool little bars. There's some great gelato places too. So as you can see, some great vibes, and it's extremely walkable. I mean, you have everything right there. Plus, you can actually walk to it from Gold Mile. It's a decent walk, but you can do it. Then we also have the landings, which are on the water, Bay Colony, which is on the water as well. So both of those are all single family homes. Oh shoot, I almost forgot. Oakland Park, which gets overlooked, just like I overlooked it. But Oakland Park is a great deal because it's technically its own city within the Fort Lauderdale area. You're not paying Fort Lauderdale prices, and you have everything that you can enjoy right there. So like right here, you have the Coral Ridge Mall. Not necessarily a true mall, but you have a Publix, you have ABC, Bahama Breeze, the Mai Kai over here, which is a Polynesian show and restaurant. Definitely something on your bucket list that you have to go and do. Plus you can enjoy everything at Gold Mile, easy to get around. There's Funky Buddha, which I personally think is one of the best breweries in all of South Florida. It's easily my favorite. You go in there, get a Floridian. They also have a Coquito beer during like the winter season, which is pretty solid. Then if we zoom out here a little bit, we get into Imperial Point, which is a great little neighborhood. A lot of single family homes within there. Plus it's right by like 3 schools. So you have Pinecrest right here. You have, oh shoot, it's my school too. I should know exactly where it is. But there, over here is Westminster Academy, my alma mater where I went to school. And you have Cardinal Gibbons right here. So you have 3 schools right around probably a mile and a half. So Gibbons is only a high school, while Pinecrest and Westminster are both K through 12. Then we get into the Pompano area, so Garden Isles, which I think is probably the best bang for your buck. All these homes are on the water. Granted, there is a fixed bridge, but that clearance can be as high as 12 feet sometimes, but on average, you're looking at about, say about 8.5 to 9 feet clearance, depending on the tide, and you're not breaking the bank. I'd say the median sales price right now, or the median home price in Garden Isles, it's right around $1.3 to $1.6 million compared to that of Fort Lauderdale, where you'd easily be over $2 million. Not to mention everything going on at the Pompano Beach Pier and Fishing Village. They are dumping a ton of money into the city of Pompano. So they redid the entire pier and fishing village, which is absolutely unreal. Some great restaurants like that Beach House, Oceanic. There's even Lucky Fish right here, which is a little bar. There's Pier 6 Rooftop, which is sweet. And now they're bringing a ton of luxury condos to Pompano. So they're bringing the Waldorf Astoria, the W, the Ritz-Carlton residences, the Armani residences, Salado. Like there's a lot of money being dumped into the city of Pompano. If you're looking for a place to invest, Pompano might be the spot for you because I don't think the prices have caught up to the hype yet. Granted, like the prices have for some of these condos, but everything that's already existing, I think it's just gonna slowly go up in value, especially on the single family side. You have the Pompano Beach Air Park now. They keep the Goodyear blimp here, which is pretty cool. Fun fact. You also have the holy trinity of chicken over here. Of course, Raising Cane's want to go away for a second. But you do have a Chick-fil-A, a Raising Cane's, and there is a KFC as well. Yep, right there. And Pollo Tropical. So I guess it's the holy quadruple of chicken. So pretty cool. And then if we zoom out a little bit, we get into Deerfield. Deerfield and Lighthouse Point are kind of slept on. Lighthouse Point, not as much. Deerfield, 100%. So Lighthouse Point, the really nice thing about it is all of Lighthouse Point is east of Federal. So all these homes on the water are a part of Lighthouse Point. Now, I will say not every single one of them is on the water, but a good majority of them are. You're also right there for the Hillsborough Inlet to get out to the ocean. You have some great food options as well. But for the most part, if you're doing anything, you're going into either Deerfield or Pompano, but you're living on the water, which is a nice thing. Speaking of that, if you like living on the water, you don't want to break the bank, let's talk about Deerfield. I think the median price point in Deerfield as a whole is $345,000. Granted, you're not going to live on the water for that in a single family house, but there are plenty of great options. Plus, you're right there next to Boca if you love Boca, but don't like the atmosphere, or you don't like the price point. You could be right there and get in and out of Boca fairly quickly, especially to get like downtown, Meisner, or even if you're a big golfer, because that's the main factor in Boca. Like, that's one of the driving things of living in Boca. What's so great about it is the golf. And there's plenty of great things to do in Deerfield too. You have the Deerfield Beach Pier, which is a lot of fun. I will say all the tourists are all south of the pier. All the locals go north of the pier. And there's some great volleyball there as well. And if you love surfing or you want to learn how to surf, Island Water Sports, which is like right back, oh yeah, right here, does offer free surf lessons on Saturdays. So that's a lot of fun. Now that we've talked about the Fort Lauderdale area on the east side, let's talk about the suburbs here in Fort Lauderdale, which do get, people don't think about it as much, but you're really at the most, I think, Parkland to Fort Lauderdale, 30 to 45 minutes. So Parkland's a great area if you want some larger estate homes, you want to live in a country club community, or you want to live in a community with an HOA with plenty of amenities, then Parkland's going to be the spot for you. Your median sales price is over $1 million, however, but you do get a lot for it. They are zoned for some of the best schools in the Broward County area, according to Niche. So it is a great spot for you if you're into, equestrianism, larger lots, and the HOA golf club communities. Now, if that's not your thing, no worries, we have plenty of other options for you. Coral Springs, everything under the sun is their slogan. And this is actually where I grew up. They have a ton of different things. And growing up there, you didn't really think about it like, dude, I got to get out of Springs. But they really do have a lot of different things. A lot of great parks. You have the mall there, the Coral Square Mall. You have some great dining options. Like I was talking about, they finally brought a taco craft out here as well. This taco craft right here, corner of University and Sample. We made it. We're big time now. No, I'm just kidding. But they have a great mix of HOA communities within Coral Springs as well as non-HOA communities, and a good mix of single family homes and townhomes. Not as many condos as out east, but we still have a decent amount. Then we get into Coconut Creek, which is actually the butterfly capital of the world. And most of that is due to the fact that we have Butterfly World. Butterfly World, we used to go on field trips all the time. And honestly, you don't think about it as much growing up going on these field trips, but it's pretty cool seeing all the different types of butterflies. Plus, there's a great park like that of Tradewinds. Quiet Waters Park's not too far away as well. And they also have a Frisbee golf course. So myself, I suck at golf. I don't have the patience. I don't really like it either, but Frisbee golf is a ton of fun. So if that's something you're looking to do, you definitely can. Plus, there's normal golf too at Windmore Golf. Head up to Boca. There's a couple different golf courses out in Coral Springs. Another thing that Coconut Creek does have is the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. When people think of the Seminole Casino, they think of the Guitar Hotel and the one in Hollywood, but we actually have a couple different ones throughout South Florida. And this one in Coconut Creek, I think is a little bit better. Number one, it's not as packed. Number two, sometimes the table minimums are a little bit less. As you can see, I'm not a big gambling man, but if you're trying to learn how to play games and not look like an idiot, go here first, then go hit up the Hard Rock in Hollywood. Now we'll work our way a little bit further south. We'll get into the Tamarack, North Lauderdale area. So in the Tamarack, North Lauderdale area, I will say there are a lot more 55 plus communities. Not as much so in the other areas, but like right in this corridor, there are quite a few. And as we're doing this, I'm just looking at Chase Stadium. So what you're thinking of over here, this is actually where right now Inter Miami plays until they build their stadium down south. So it is traffic on commercial can be an absolute pain, especially on game day. But if you're an Inter Miami fan, this is a huge thing for you. Speaking of that, I think we need to talk about pro sports and our great proximity. So we have Chase Stadium right here. Over here is a Merit Bank Arena where the Florida Panthers play. So even if you lived, for sake of example, let's say we're living in Fort Lauderdale, to go to an Inter Miami game, 20, 25 minutes depending on traffic. To go to a Florida Panthers game, 20 to 30 minutes depending on traffic because you hop right on 595. Then in Miami Gardens, we also have where the Miami Dolphins play and the Miami Hurricanes. So you want to go to a Dolphins game from Fort Lauderdale, depending on traffic, you take the Turnpike, should be there in about 30 minutes, or you can actually take the Bright Line down to Aventura, and they do have it's not a trolley, but they have like cars that will go back and forth and take you to the game as part of that. Then, as we head further south, downtown Miami is where the Miami Heat play. Honestly, I wouldn't drive it because parking sucks, the drive sucks. Take the Bright Line. Bright Line from Fort Lauderdale to down here to drop you off near the Heat Arena, drop you off like 3 or 4 blocks away. Plus they have the buzzer beater train, You can get on right before the game and you can leave right after the game, still make it home in time, to be in bed before midnight. And then the Miami Marlins, so they play over in this area. Honestly, I'm not a big baseball fan. I think I've been to one Marlins game in the probably past 10 years. But if we got better, I would start going to some games. Also, University of Miami down here in Coral Gables. So if you're a big college sports fan, yeah, the University of Miami. Not to mention up in Boca, we also have FAU. So as we work our way further south, back to our suburbs, then we have Plantation. Honestly, the best way to think about Plantation is, I'd probably say right on par with that of Coral Springs, maybe a step above, a little bit more golf, a little bit more townhomes as well, but they also have a great mix like that of Coral Springs. So great mix of HOA communities with single family homes, non-HOA communities, townhomes, some great shopping options, and technically Plantation and Davie are college towns because Nova Southeastern University is there. Now, yes, we didn't talk about it with FAU and University of Miami, but their sports are not on the same par yet. Oh, I almost forgot. Speaking of Plantation, right here in Sunrise and right next to the American Bank Arena, we have the Sawgrass Mills Mall, which I believe is either the largest or second largest single-story outlet mall in the entire United States. So if you're looking for a deal, this is the place to go. Do not go on the weekends. You go on the weekends, parking is absolutely insane. It's also like the freaking Tower of Babel in there. It seems like no one is speaking the same language. But you got nothing else to do. Might be kind of fun. Something to do, right? I'm just kidding. It does get absolutely packed. We also have American Heritage over here, the Plantation campus, an absolute freaking powerhouse at football. Pretty much catching up to that of St. Thomas. Obviously, St. Thomas is on another level, but Heritage is working its way up there. Then we get into the Davie area, so Davie is here. So Davie is technically a cowboy town, and you can realize that once you get into it. A lot more equestrianism, some nurseries, different things. There's also Nova, Southeastern University over here. The Costco I was talking about is here, Trader Joe's. Traffic on this University and 595 spot is absolutely brutal in the afternoons and the morning. So if you're going anywhere for work, you need to think about it. But there's also a ton of parks. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like Treetops Park and Vista View are the two big ones. Honestly, I like Vista View a little bit more. There's a hill here you can run. So if you're looking for a great workout, this one is killer. And we'll work a little bit further south. Get into Southwest Ranches. I think the big thing about Southwest Ranches and no one really talks about, number one, the lots are a lot larger. The average size for a lot in Southwest Ranches is over an acre. Good luck finding that anywhere else here in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. Second thing is the homes are massive. Like if I lived in Southwest Ranches and eventually one day I do want to, I don't think you'd ever see me again. I'd have a massive house, the pool, grotto, everything, like something out of Cribs. I'd have a home gym, office. I'm telling you, maybe I'd have a bar at home too, like an entire thing so everyone can come over. We don't have to go out. You would never see me again. I probably wouldn't leave. And it's good reason. I mean, this is why a lot of celebrities actually live here. Rick Ross once lived here. I was going to say Dwayne Johnson. The Rock used to live here, or I think he still owns a home. Tyreek lives out here. You just get a lot more for your money. Then right next to it, we have Cooper City, which is technically, I would say, kind of a suburb of Davie. A lot of different things going on in Cooper City. Like the big thing is you're just taking advantage of the parks, similar to that of Davie. Like Brian Piccolo here, like we play flag football on Thursdays. That's a big thing too, flag football. Like we play flag football over here, Brian Piccolo, and Sunset Park over here as well. So there's different sports leagues. I'm not in the basketball, like I never played basketball, but there's different men's leagues around. There's women's leagues as well. Trying to get our church to start one too. So Charlie, if you're watching this, you should definitely keep starting that, or keep looking into starting that men's basketball league. Then we get into Pines. Pines has grown up a ton. I know for a while, no one really wanted, like, you're living out in Pines, like it seemed far because you were west of 75. But dude, all up and down Pembroke Pines Boulevard, there is so much building going on, especially strip center wise. And even apartments, like it's apartments on apartments on apartments. Like the traffic on Pines Boulevard could rival and or be worse than the traffic on Federal and Fort Lauderdale. There are so many people there. Like my buddy Houston lives out here, right off of Pines Boulevard, and right actually near the Chewies. And we were going to Amped one night. It was a Friday night. We're gonna go hit legs. Who else is hitting legs on a Friday night? Well, apparently everyone in Pembroke Pines was in the freaking gym. It's like 10:30 at night on a Friday night. Absolutely packed. But, I mean, for good reason. Like, I'd rather go and get a lift than go out. But it gives you an idea of how packed it is. Plus, plenty of great restaurants, plenty of things to do. There's also a Costco out here as well on the west side of 75. And I will say west of 75, like the Silver Lakes area, all this, a lot more HOA single family communities. Then as we get a little bit further east here, we get into Hollywood. And I feel like Hollywood and Hollandale are like grossly overlooked. People think of like Miami and they skip right up to Fort Lauderdale. However, developers are starting to realize this and they're starting to dump a ton of money into both to start developing some new condo buildings. We've had a lot of apartments being built, but I think the push is more towards some of those luxury condos, especially out east. So like you have the Hollywood Circle, and working your way east, you have the Broadwalk. It's not a boardwalk. So the beach out here has a Broadwalk with plenty of restaurants and stores up and down the beach. Not like that of the Jersey Shore, but kind of similar, not on the same scale yet. And then we also have the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Now this is the one I was talking about. When you think of the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, the giant guitar hotel with like everything, all the shops, you know, they have the Supercar Saturdays here, they have the performances here, like this is the spot. Then right next to it, we have Dania Beach. And Dania flies completely under the radar. If you're looking for a low-key beach that isn't packed, no one's gonna really like be there, like you might get a couple tourists, but it's mostly all locals, Dania Beach is gonna be the spot for you. Now I will say one spot you do have to go in Dania, as it pulls up, as you see I zoom in, Jackson's Ice Cream Parlor. You can get a literal kitchen sink full of ice cream. Me and my buddies tried to do it. We could not take it down. I thought we, like 6, 7 guys who play football, we could take that down, right? No shot, it was a lot. There's also Three Sons Brewing, which has a pina colada seltzer. I know, I'm a seltzer guy sometimes, but it's actually really good. Would I take it to the beach? Probably, but a 6-pack of it would be tough. Like it's pretty sweet, but it's good, something different to try. You also have Dania Point over here, and Dania Point has really grown up. I mean, it's the spot now. They have everything. There's bowling. I think they have mini golf. There's a movie theater, plenty of different restaurants. There's a Padrino's there, Cooper's Hawk. There's a Rodizio, Tommy Bahama, Haagen-Dazs, Nike clearance store. Nike clearance store is clutch. So as you can see, a lot of different things going on in the greater Fort Lauderdale area and a lot of different aspects of life, but you could still be near the water. You could still enjoy boating and different things, but it just depends. Do you want to live the suburb life and have more of that? Or do you want to live further out east, not have as much of the suburbs, but have great access to the beach and the water? So at the end of the day, the Fort Lauderdale area really has a lot of different things going for it. You want to live on the beach and enjoy everything that the beach has to offer? You can do that. You want to live on the water and really just have your boat in the backyard and go and do that? You can do that. You want to live the suburb life? You can do that. You love golf? We can go ahead and do that. Like I said, a ton of different options. So if you have any questions about any of these specific suburbs, neighborhoods, or areas here in the greater Fort Lauderdale area, either drop a comment down below or you could reach out to us. We'd be happy to help in any way that we can. And like I said before, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest anywhere here in the Fort Lauderdale area or South Florida in general, my team and I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can call us, email, text us, whatever's easiest for you, we got you.